Good evening, everyone. She is one of the most kind. She is one of the most authentic. She is hands down one of the best storytellers I have ever worked with. And Joan Steffend, Brandmeier's my guest tonight. I'm so delighted that you're here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I came just for that introduction.
Oh.
I don't get a lot of that from the grandchildren.
Well,
So.
you know what? So this is called What's Next with Diana Pierce.
Yes.
But I think at our stage, right?
Yeah.
What's next is something we get asked all the time,
Yeah,
right?
we definitely do. Yeah, I get that all the time. And the weird thing with me is I never really know. I feel like I wake up almost every morning and go, what am I interested in today? Because I don't really have a job that I go to every day. So it's kind of like, what's interesting to me? What do I want to do? What do I want to put into the world today? So it is almost a continual question I ask myself.
Well, hands down, of all the people that I've had on this show since the beginning at the end of January, people have been the most excited to see that I am talking with you.
Really?
Yes, because
Wow.
they love you.
Oh.
They miss you.
Yeah.
And they miss you at KARE. They miss you on Decorating Sense. Any other way that they could have, been tagged into what you were doing on
Yeah.
air. And so,
Thank you.
I just thought it was really, and we'll have some questions from people,
Okay.
and I think one of them will kind of make you pause. But anyway, we'll get to that a little bit later.
I have to say though, I spent a lot of years just staring at you. We had desks that were facing one another for 17 years, I think it was. So I'd go to work and I'd just stare at Diana Pierce.
Well, we had the redhead collection,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So you have, in speaking engagements and other things that you've done kind of around the state, you have broken, and even on your website, joansteffend.com, you have broken your life into stages. So stage one is being born here and being raised here, and we have an adorable, and I'll call it an adorable baby pic of you.
Really?
Yes.
There aren't that many, so.
Well, I got it from your husband, so
okay,
that one,
that would
that is
explain
an
it.
adorable one, yes.
Yeah, no, I was born in Minneapolis, raised in Cambridge, and it really just informs who I am. I tried living elsewhere, it just didn't work. I'm a Minnesotan, It's just, I was raised by a farmer and a construction worker in Minnesota. I think those three things will tell you who I am.
And out in the country, you weren't a city gal.
No, I was in a small town. Cambridge was, well, it's an hour north of the cities, and I think now it's about 5,000 people, something like that, but it was only about 2,000 when I was there. So it was, a lot of freedom, a lot of the village raised me, basically. You just know a lot of people in a small town like that, and that's how I ended up being raised, just feeling the sense of responsibility to the people you pass by. You don't always get that in a larger city, but I can't seem to lose that. So.
Now, at some point, you decided you were going to go to broadcasting because you went into the acting field first, and then it's broadcasting. How did you make that transition?
Well, I always say that my life is kind of like Forrest Gump's life in some ways. I just fall into things. When I said I moved out of Minnesota, I went to LA and I studied at Warner Brothers for acting for a while, and just discovered that I was not a California girl, and they also agreed I was not a California girl. And
Funny, I'm not either.
I know, and you were born there.
Yeah.
I know. So I came back here and I just didn't know what to do with this desire I had some kind of public performance desire, and I ended up getting married to a guy who, we went to Brown Institute, and he got an audition up at a television station in Duluth, KBJR, Superior Television for the Port Cities. I know, right? And so he went up there and he did his interview, and I have no idea where this very brave girl came from, but I said, could you audition me too? And they did, and they gave me the job.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't have a degree in broadcasting. I don't have a degree in communications. They decided that I could be an anchor, and so they gave me the job.
And tell stories. You have a degree in being human and listening.
Yes,
that's a gift.
Yeah,
because not everybody listens, and you listen.
I didn't even think about that. I do have a degree in being human. Yeah. I am so darn human. I can't even handle it sometimes. Yeah. But thank you for that. Yeah. I love people, and I love people's stories. So I think that's part of what the niche that I tried to find in television news. It isn't always available to you because they want you to do stories that fit a different mold. But I grew up loving autobiographies and biographies and just learning from other people's lives. So yes, I love to listen to people's stories.
So
I would be
stage two.
interviewing you right now.
So stage 2, you started in KB Junior and then you came to KARE. We have a wonderful picture of the two of us.
Oh my gosh.
At KARE. We
Probably
were co-anchoring.
look just the same,
And
I'm
we
sure.
do.
Yeah,
We do.
amazingly.
Our hair might be a little shorter. Mine might be even more fluffy than it is now. We both have our 11 pins on.
Oh my gosh.
I know, isn't that funny?
Everything I owned had a little hole for the 11 pin.
Right, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I got it back from the dry cleaner, so I'll put it right back in there because that's where it's established itself. yeah?
Exactly.
And so the two of us, it's the 6 p.m. news.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know where people were, but we were left.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Really? And so does it say 1988 on it?
Oh my gosh, really? Before my
Yeah. Okay, 1988.
daughter was born even, before
Yeah.
my youngest was born.
Yeah.
And Chelsea would have been born by then.
1988. Nope, she didn't come along till later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We didn't know what was happening to us in
No, I
those
know.
years, did
yeah.
we?
Yeah. So from there, then oh my gosh, we also shared maternity jackets.
I forgot that.
I know.
Always the double-breasted.
It was.
Yeah.
It was pink.
Yes.
It was
I
huge
do
pink. You remember that?
I do. I got yelled at for wearing that pink blazer once because I wore it on St. Patrick's Day and somebody thought it was orange because everybody, all the colors
Right.
show up differently on people's TVs. So I got nasty messages for wearing orange on St. Patrick's Day, but it was hot pink.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't orange an okay thing for St. Patrick's Day?
Apparently
Isn't
not.
it orange and green? Don't they are compatible colors?
Well, I don't know. Maybe one person thought it wasn't.
Yeah.
but-
Anyway, so then you won national and regional awards. I mean, boatloads of them. You had both your daughters, Blair and Jordan,
Yeah.
while you were there. And then a little bit later, you did Something to Think About.
Oh.
And you love that series. We love that series.
Man, if I have to pick one thing that I loved that I did it, well, actually I did it right after I left KARE 11, but it ended up airing on KARE 11 for about a year. But it was just 40, 30-second spots that talked about kindness and, being aware of the energy you bring into a room and, saying I love you. And, it was just these little tiny seeds that Joe and I wanted to plant, my husband and I wanted to plant. And so we did those. And to me, it was just the best. It was what I was most proud of. And I actually remember when they started airing, when people would hear my voice in a store or something, people would come over and they'd go, "Thank you for putting something to think about," just because it was so rare to have something uplifting on TV. We tend to look at the stuff that's not going well instead of looking at the
Yes,
things
true.
that could go better.
Yeah. Now, apparently, I would say that both of our voices are very well recognized in the Twin Cities
Yeah.
because both of us can go into a grocery store
Yeah.
and people will recognize our voice. They might
Exact-
not immediately place us, but
Yeah.
they recognize our voice.
That's true. That's true. And it's getting much, much more that way as I get older. It's like, oh, I recognize the voice. It's like the face.
Hey, at least they don't think you're dead.
No, that's true.
I've had that.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, to
really?
my face. Yes. Yeah.
And are you?
Like last year. Well, let me check. Not yet. Yes, I
she's
still
good.
have I've
She's
got
good.
a pulse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we both have low voices too.
Yeah.
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 So-
But that was so funny looking at that woman. She said, no, I think she's dead. And I said, it could be me. No.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so anyway, so there you go.
Yes, you could.
So at least you're still alive.
I am.
Yeah. Okay, so after that, stage 3.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so then you went and went to Decorating Scents.
I did HGTV, another Forrest Gump moment actually.
400 episodes.
I know.
Oh
and I
my
got to go to the White House and give away millions of dollars of dream homes. And it was, I was baffled by it, to be honest with you, because I got the opportunity to do this with Steve Edelman and Edelman Productions. And when he offered me the job, I said, well, should I quit KARE 11? He goes, oh, no. He says, this is probably going to be 13 weeks. Consider it a hobby. It'll never go anywhere. He wasn't quite that diminishing, but he basically said it wasn't going to be a long-term thing. And I was there for 10 years. And I actually quit. So,
so tell me about that, because I know a lot of people, they were so disappointed that you weren't doing that anymore because they loved you.
Yeah, and I loved
doing that.
I loved it too, but I've got this philosophy. Is it a philosophy or is it just like a motto? I'm a selfish quitter. I do. I've actually thought about writing a book called I'm a Selfish Quitter, because I think when I look at my life, I stay in something as long as myself is happy. And then when you can tell when your soul starts to get a little bit restless and you start thinking like, oh, I'm not having as much fun as I used to, and maybe there's something else out there. And when I get to that point, I'll spend a little extra time just to make sure it isn't just a passing phase, and then I'll leave and I'll see what else opens up for me.
That's being so highly self-aware. Do you realize what a gift that is? There's not a lot of people who have that.
That's interesting that you call it a gift, because when I think about it, sometimes, well, at least in the past, it used to feel so selfish, and then people would respond to it in a way like, why would you do that? I mean, when I quit KARE 11, I had, people coming up to me and saying, it's a mistake, why are you doing that? And so it didn't feel like it was rewarded by public opinion, but yeah, it feels like a gift the older I get.
It is. I mean, everything now that I've seen, especially in leadership, the more self-evolved, the more self-aware you are, the more that you can be a leader that then listens to other people. So that's what you do for us in our society.
I like that.
And good. Well,
be
come
a
to
selfish
me.
quitter.
I'll help you write your book.
Okay.
And then you were on Oprah
You're
Winfrey.
kind of a selfish quitter too, aren't you?
Well, I am now.
Yeah.
You're
Good on you.
Good. So then you were on Oprah.
Yep.
And we all love that. And so now you're with the queen of all things media, right?
Who?
Oprah?
Oh, Oprah? Oh, yeah. That was one of
How could you even speak? I
know. Well, here's the deal. If you saw the whole show when I was on, I think I ended up with maybe 15 seconds worth of voice on there. She wasn't as smitten with the work of decorating scents as you might imagine. She had access to a much larger budget. And when she saw us doing things like making it out of sticks and, and chewing gum and stuff like that, she was not as delighted, and it got edited down to something pretty small, but it was a once-in-a-lifetime moment. I mean, there was nothing like being called up onto the stage and sat next to Oprah Winfrey. Especially back then, I was just such a huge fan.
Yeah, and then decorating the White House.
I know.
Get out.
I know, right?
Get out.
I know that, and so
the Rose Bowl parade. Get out.
I know, and really, and giving away the dream homes was one of my favorite things too. I mean, being able to sneak up on people and say, "Surprise! You won a multi-million-dollar home." I mean, that was the huge gift for me. But I knew that I'd made it at the White House when I think it was the second or third year. Well, the first year we were there, it was like, don't touch anything. You can't sit down. You can't do it. It was very daunting. And by the third year, the guy who was in charge of the White House, I can't remember his name now, he came and was throwing fake snow on me, and we were having fun. So that was a good time.
Yeah. Okay. So then so now we're at stage 4, right? So stage 4 brings us to the now. So you've written 2 books.
I have.
You are a sought after speaker.
Well,
yes,
you
are.
Seek me some
Stop
more.
Stop it. You are. You work with your husband Joe
I do.
on the marriage documentary I Do, which by the way was wonderful and it just
Did you
aired
see
on
it?
television.
Yeah.
On TPT Channel 2. Was it?
Did you
a week
see
ago
it?
Monday? Yeah. I came, but
that's
came
right. You
over
saw it
to
before.
St. Kate's.
Yeah.
And you aired it over there.
Yeah. I was really proud of him for that. I mean, that was really his curiosity that led him on that journey. I was just the person who would say, I think you need more, or I think you need less, or you need, I was helping him with story structure and things like that. And as it says in the credits, I was his personal shrink, because there were a lot of those, when you're in a creative position, you're doing something really large, you can get so, frustrated. And so I was his shrink for that. But his idea was a documentary on, as he puts it, the crazy concept of marriage. My husband, the crazy concept of marriage.
There you go, Joe. Attaboy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know how to talk to girls.
Yeah, exactly. But as creative people, we fall in love with the interviews that we do.
Yes.
And so then when it comes to editing them down, it's like, I can't cut that because that is so good, but they said it so well over here too, so now I've got an hour with that person, and now I've got to make it, 10 minutes.
I know, isn't that the worst? That was the worst thing for me. I remember when I was starting out, somebody explained it to me like that old joke about when a reporter goes out and, the reporter goes out and gets 10 commandments and brings them back to the news director, and the news director says, give me the top 2.
Right,
So
exactly.
it's that kind of a feeling, like everything you get out in the field is so precious and important, and it tells you have to boil it down to a minute and 10 or a minute and 20. Oh, it's like Sophie's Choice on a level for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I would love to interview you.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to
We'll
do
take
this
an
again.
hour.
Exactly. All right. So,
Has anybody interviewed you on What's Next?
no.
Perhaps we should flip.
Well, not today, because
Okay.
this is Joan's day.
Okay.
This is Joan's moment. Okay. But then you also are the co-founder of Peace Begins With Me, a small, big peace project. I've seen you working on that for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I have. I ended up dissolving it as a 501c3, though. So it is purely me going out into the world trying to be a peace project. I tried to do it in a very just normal, structured way with the 501c3 and all that, but it was, it becomes a money
now.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of things going on,
But
right?
it becomes a money maker, not a money maker, but a money raising proposition. And all I wanted to do was bring out the idea that really peace does begin with the choice you make about who you're going to bring out into the world every day, And sometimes bad things happen to us, but the only thing that we really have is that choice as to how we respond to what happens to us. So I was more of an evangelist for peace rather than somebody who needed the structure around me. So I play with the idea of, I just figure I'm the peace project.
And you still are, because
Yeah.
now this has evolved into your kindness project, right?
I told you I keep thinking of new things.
This is perfect. So I sent Joe a note today. I said, what is this called? Because it's a series of reports, no, not reports, interviews that you and Joe have done, and he said, kinder, a hopeful idea.
Yeah.
So
Which, if you notice, kinder.
Ooh.
We're interviewing kids, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, see, now people have to look at this. So we have a clip from Aiden, so let's take a look.
Oh, cool.
Kindness is like when you be kind to people. Like if somebody like fell, like when I just did in my classroom a couple of minutes ago, somebody fell out their chair, then I helped them up. I picked up their chair for them. I said, "You okay? How'd you mind?" If somebody like dropped something, you can like pick it up for them. That's like being a good friend. What? If it's like a big thing, it's okay. Everybody can help you if it's like a big thing. But if it's like something small, that's easy. Oh, I want to be a doctor. If we just like all been kind to people, like if somebody made you mad, you could be like, "Can you stop making me mad?" Then they would say, "Okay, I will." Kind. It would feel so good. It makes people have like a nice day, and it makes people happy. Then they probably want to be your friend. I never met you before. I made a lot of friends. I don't make friends. If I'm not kind, I don't make friends. Oh, Joan? Yeah. Joan, it's nice to meet you too. And you, Joe.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we are back now. Anyway, so
Isn't he cute?
I know.
Oh my
I just
gosh,
want
I
to
love
hug
him. I know.
He had the best expressions.
Yeah, and I think we've got 7 completed now, and you will want to hug every single one of the kids.
Is this a documentary? What are we doing? What are we doing with it, Joan?
See, that's the thing. We keep coming up with these things that we want to do that we feel are helpful and purposeful in the world and of service, but we don't really know. So I've been posting them on Facebook, and they're on a website. Somebody asked if they could use them on their website, and so it's just trying to move some of that energy through the world. I don't really have a plan. Because I'm Forrest Gump.
But they are kind.
Yes,
They are kind.
yes,
They're
yes.
kinder.
Yes, and the kids
They're pointing the way.
Oh my gosh, they're coming up with such beautiful ideas. There's this one, I think the most recent one is a little girl from Marine on St. Croix named Finley. And I asked her what color kindness was. And she says, it's a pink heart. And she had talked about how you can share that pink heart out on the playground, and then somebody else gets to carry that pink heart around, and then they can share it. It's just like,
Oh, nice.
she was 8.
Uh-huh.
These kids are coming up with such wisdom at 8. I mean, we didn't pre-interview any of them. They just showed up with their wisdom and shared it with us, and yeah, it's been a great experience.
Well, fantastic. As soon as you figure out what you're going to do with that, let me know.
Well, maybe you can help me figure it out.
We'll broadcast it for you. We'll get it out there. Okay, so I did ask my Facebook audience to ask you questions. And so, how do you transfer stress and disappointment into love?
Oh, man. Well, there's been a fair amount of stress and disappointment I get, and I think that's true for everybody. I think it has to do with time and intention, and the intention of moving through it, experiencing it, and then choosing to, keep it out of the spin cycle, basically, To me, that you have to experience what you're experiencing. If you're stressed, if you're disappointed, feel it. Don't put it away too soon. But then when you feel like you've had your moment with it, then move on. A lot of us, you can see it in a lot of family dynamics and things like that, where people just hold on to something and tell the same story over and over and over again. I think you just have to consciously get out of the spin cycle, but.
So there's been some insight into some of the stuff that has come here. This came from Kim McPike. I know.
Kimmy.
Well, she had 2 questions. One is a very serious question. We'll follow up with the other one in a minute.
Okay, well, if it's mean, I'm going to tell a story about you, Kim.
Okay, all right. No, so she said, ask Joan, how can they get through what our family is coping with and not be angry at the world? So it's a very serious question. Her son has been recently diagnosed with brain cancer and now faces radiation and chemo now for the rest of the year. So that's her serious question. She doesn't want to be angry at the world for this.
Boy, Kim, never having been in your shoes, all I can say is my heart goes out to you, and I'm so sorry for what you're going through. I have stood alongside my sister for 20 years while she went through cancer treatments, and I was her person, and it's a tough place to be. And it's your journey, and it's his journey, and for me to put my ideas on that for you, it just doesn't feel right, other than for me to say that as I look back on the journey that I took with my sister, I am left with incredible gifts. I'd say look for the tender moments, the connections that you have now because of what you're going through, because if you are aware enough of your relationship, you will find little gifts within this circumstance. And I'm not saying that's anything that I would wish anybody to go through, but you have to make the choice to see the gold there has to be gold. There, you wouldn't be going through this if there wasn't something that would come out of this that would leave you in a stronger relationship with your son, or a stronger relationship with the divine, or a stronger relationship with who you are or with your family. You just have to keep looking for the gold, I think. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine.
No, it's tough. She's posted some of the things.
Much love to you.
Yeah. What I will say though is that the pictures that she has posted, they have been all the family around Jack, and loving on him real big time.
Good.
And he's he doesn't want to be there, but he knows now it's a journey for the next year that he must go through.
Yeah.
So he's been incredible and just kind of posting his things as well. So we'll get
wonderful.
to Kim's second question here in a minute.
Gosh,
all right.
Kim.
And so this comes in from Bob Tim. And so
Hi, Bob.
how do you separate work from personal life when your spouse works in the same industry?
Oh, we don't. There you go.
There you go. And there's your answer. Yes, exactly.
I have an office in our house, and he has an office in our house, and we meet in the kitchen.
Oh, too funny.
And sometimes we decide not to talk about work, but most of the time we do.
Yeah, he says, please send Joan my warmest regards.
Oh, love to you, Bob.
And then Dana, here you go, Dana Thied. How the heck do you manage to be so spectacular, Miss Joni, right?
Yeah, I love Dana.
Yeah.
This is a stacked audience. This is a stacked audience.
Well, if you like that one, how about one from Randy Clouk? Ask Joan if she'll leave Joe for me. I'm older, balder, and not as funny.
It's just what I'm looking for.
And then this is the one. Ask Joan, what is it about you that has always made him feel comforted in the presence of you?
Him who?
No, this is from Christopher Hopkins. What is it about you that has always made him, me, feel comforted in your presence? It's your loving. It's your loving countenance, radiance.
Yeah, I don't know, Christopher, but oh my gosh, thank you. That is such a kind thing to say, but I guess that would be for you to answer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And,
I don't know.
Yeah, there's
But
boy.
grateful. Thank
Lots
you.
of people online just saying all kinds of things. Love you, love you, love you. Then here's the other one that Kim did ask, and she said, "What is the one question you've never been asked?"
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, I've never been asked a ton of questions. I don't get interviewed a whole lot. Kim. I would say, why are you here? I've never been asked. Why are you here in this life, in this world? And I guess my answer would be to be better, to try to be better and to try to, I fail miserably. So please don't think that I'm saying that I've achieved any guru status in this at all. But just, I feel like to try to be better and to be of service. There's a quote from a man named Chief Arvel Lookinghorse, and he says, "We were put here on this earth to basically make the world a better place. Did you think you were put here for something less?" And I just thought, that last line gets me every time. Yeah, you're not put here on this earth to just be a success in the material form. You're put here on this earth to radiate something that makes the world more comfortable and more evolutionary and more loving. And again, I fail miserably from time to time, but that's my goal, and that's why I hope I'm here. So,
yeah. She said, kind of on a side note, please ask her this, because that will probably be the topic that Joan would love to talk about.
Oh, interesting. That's interesting, because I haven't seen Kim in, 20 years at least?
I
Something like that?
I said, genius, you still have it. And she says, of course. In case you want to know, was one of our producers at Channel 11. She was a 10 o'clock producer for many years there. So.
And Kim, you remember the show that I'm thinking about, don't you? We had a show together that was just like crashing and burning and careening into the river, and it was just, it was amazing.
So
we survived.
Michelle Nagorski-Bach
Aw.
Yeah, Joan helped me through some tough times with her philosophy on peace and kindness.
Thanks, Michelle.
And she
She's
says,
been through a
you're
lot."
just amazing. And then from, hold on here, Mark Arneson. We love you. Did you guys know each other before KARE 11 at all?
No.
No.
You just walked in looking so beautiful.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Probably bewildered more than anything else.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, bewildered looked beautiful on
Well,
you.
like would have been like, what did I just do? I just lucked out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No, I'm thinking in my, this is an unbelievable opportunity. It's like, who did I pull the wool over their eyes?
But the one thing that I would have to say that they did a really good job for the most part in bringing people together who could work together
Yeah,
and
yes.
laugh together
Right.
and achieve together and not get too all caught up in the whole, the notoriety of it and
Right, the Mary Tyler Moore Anchorman kind of
yeah,
syndrome,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So I think they did a good job with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I do say myself.
Exactly.
myself.
Yeah, exactly. and you think about it, we were so fortunate. There were so many wonderful, outstanding writers, caring people. I mean, just spread around that entire newsroom, creative people. They were
I
just
know.
fantastic.
I know. And I would start naming them right now if I didn't know that I would leave somebody out. Because,
Right, yeah.
Because,
Well,
oh my gosh.
We're at the 31-minute mark. And
What?
I love you so much. We've just been having too much of a good time.
Sorry.
So what I'm going to say, thank you so much. It's been an
so
honor.
welcome.
Thank
It's
you
an
for joining me.
honor to be here in
And
your
my
home.
hands are so cold.
They
we're
are.
hurt. And if you at home watching have any questions for Joan, please leave them right here on What's Next with Diana Pierce.